everybody, this is Brian. Welcome to Chiller Night Live. We're from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 o'clock. We sit and talk about all things horror, science fiction, paranormal. You pick the topic, we'll make a show out of it, by golly. And right out the gate, Renee is there. Hello, host Jack Shadow Bryan Hogue. Have a happy and awesome taco, bacon, cheeseburger, and hamburger Tuesday live horror, UFO, Showtime, Chiller Night Theater, Apocalypse, Escape Room, prayers for BB and Tatiana. All right, well, thank you. Yes, thank you very much, Renee, for your always stellar intros. Appreciate that. And Stephanie says, hey, y'all. Hey, Stephanie, thanks for joining us. Holy cow, yeah, awesome. Taco, bacon, cheeseburger, and hamburger Tuesday. Sounds very heart smart. So, well, Stephanie says, how are y'all handling the heat? We're handling it pretty well. We're getting some good use out of the swimming pool. I knew it'd come in handy. Bonehead says, hey, hello, Chiller Night crew and Brian. Hey, Bonehead, thanks for joining us. And there's my baby, Ava Hoagie. Waving hello, everyone. Hey, Ava. Now, you're on Facebook, so I don't know if our YouTube viewers, well, they won't be able to see you, but now she's sending me some hearts right back at you. So, a reminder, if you're on, now we are multi-streaming to YouTube and to Facebook. Now, you guys, you can't see each other, but I can see all. So, yes, it's pretty hot, isn't it? Yeah, but we're faring pretty well where we're at, spending some time in the pool and enjoying, just kind of enjoying it, really. So, yeah, we are. I was kind of looking forward to some hot days. I mean, we really haven't had a lot of hot days up here yet, so I'm glad we had some. Well, folks, I actually have run my very first test group through the witching hour. Now, that was on Friday night. I was going to, my original idea was to open publicly on last Friday, but instead I put some test groups through because I wasn't, or test group, and then tomorrow I've got some more people to put through for test groups. So I will officially be opening to the public this Friday night. And I believe you can actually book online for that date. So, and I will be talking more about that as the show goes on. John Wayne says, hello, everyone. Hope you all had a nice week. We did, John Wayne, SBC. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you did as well. Bonehead says, the heat down here in Corpus Christi, Texas, is usually in the 90s, and it's hard to breathe some days and makes life tough. But you know it beats the alternative. That it does. That it does. So everyone's got some hellos being said on there. Where in the world is Paul at? I haven't seen Paul on here. And George, if you, I know you don't watch the show live, you watch it the next day, but we were talking a few weeks ago about the, I think Renee brought this up, about the UFOs in the background as they were filming Jaws. The only thing I could find on that, the only footage that I could find, and maybe there's some other footage out there, the only thing that I saw was what looked to be like a shooting star. I didn't see anything that, in my opinion, looked like a UFO or something unexplained. The few that, because if you go on YouTube, because I was going to actually have footage on here tonight and play it, but I mean, from what I saw, everything that I saw just looked like it could have been a shooting star. So a little disappointed in that, but maybe there's some other footage that I'm unaware of. So. St. Paul. Is Paul here? No, Renee St. Paul. Okay. So I know I told George that, I think I'm saying that right. that I was going to mention that and play the footage of the UFO, the alleged UFO. But after watching it, it's like, I don't really, unless somebody can provide something that's more substantial than what I saw, just looked like a shooting star. I mean, really. Um, John Wayne says, the rain has finally stopped here, but now my allergy is back. Well, that's not good. That is not good at all. It wasn't too bad here. It was pretty hot, but other than that, we didn't get no big rainstorm or anything today. Like I know a lot of the surrounding areas did, or I believe they did. Bunny says, "Why is my name in a gray box? I'm in trouble again. Am I? What I do this time? Your name is in a gray box." What? I don't know. All I know, I'm seeing everybody looks the same on here. I just see your name in everyone's name is written in gray and a blue background, from what I'm seeing anyways. And there is a way that I could show you my screen, but I am not familiar with it, and I'm not going to take a chance of bumping you off of online. Renee says, God, speedy recovery, Paul. Oh, is there, hopefully he's not still having some issues. Well, if you are, Paul, we're all thinking about you and missing you tonight. So hopefully you'll be on tonight. John says, it may be hot as hell outside right now, but you can chill out here and not worry about the AC. It's Tuesday night and time again for Chiller Night Live. This is Crozak the Grand, and now here's our shooting star, Bryan Hogue. Very clever. I like him. Crozak the Grand. John. I always love your intros. That's good. Renee says, yeah, yep. Everybody says shooting star. I still say UFO. Really? I definitely believe in UFOs. I just, from what I saw, the video that I saw, it looked to me like a shooting star, but if maybe there's footage that I didn't see. I think they showed like 3 different examples of it. So I don't know, just my opinion. Bonin says, well, we're supposed to get some kind of tropical storm or something down here, so I might be on the move if the wind gets a blowing. Oh no! Well, hold on tight to something. Is that right? I didn't even know about a tropical storm coming your way. Huh. Well, be careful, by golly. Yeah. You know, I mentioned Jaws, and there's another movie that that I just saw this today. Salem's Lot. I didn't know that they were doing a remake of this. And this is coming out in the theaters, I guess October 11th. What day that is. October 11th. Is that? That's on Friday. Friday, October 11th. That makes sense. New theatrical release. But, yeah. Salem's Lot. I thoroughly enjoyed the original Salem's Lot on the made-for-TV 2-parter. I think it was a 2-parts movie that came on. I remember when that came on. That just was scary. That was frightening. I remember those scenes as a little kid watching that. It was horrifying. You know, I remember the kid floating outside, scratching the window. That just, oh. That was insane. And then the part where the little kid sits up out of the grave, you know, when they lowered him in they were doing the burial for him. And the one scene where the one guy who's been infected, been transformed into a vampire, you see him sitting on the rocking chair, or sitting on some kind of chair. I don't know, a rocking chair specifically, I don't know. But you can see him in the dark, and his eyes are glowing, and he's just talking real creepy. Ah, what a neat movie I thought that was. So, John Wayne says, hello, Tom Pays. Ah, it's Tom here. Tom, there's Tom. Tom, Bonehead is a tropical storm. You got that right. Renee says, I won the mayor's office of housing. I got the apartment lotto, and it looks like I'm going to soon move to a real studio and not an SRO. Wow. All right. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, congratulations on that. Do you know when you get to move in? Hopefully it's not on a really super hot day. But that's very cool. Very cool. Good news. John says, who has done their homework from last week on summer horror and sci-fi movies that you might watch? My favorite is Prophecy from '78. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. The Incredible Melting Man and the original Alien. Oh, very cool. Stephanie says, I think Salem's Lot was remade for TV again on TNT. You know, I think you're right. That's something about that sounds familiar. Yeah. I just thought that was cool, though, that was I don't know. I didn't know they were making a remake. I hope it's good. I'd like to see it. Might even have to visit a theater to see that. So, Ava, we might have to go see Salem's Lot when it comes out in October. Won't be on a Friday or a Saturday for us. We'll be having Jack Shadow's House of Terror. All right. I think Salem... Oh, okay. Bonus says, see, SBC replied to my comment, and my name is in a gray box. I bet I'm being censored. Okay, well, I think everybody else can see you. I think so, right? How are people replying to you then? I don't know. For a while we had Glamfangs and Tom on the censored list, not intentionally, but so I can't say that it doesn't happen, but without my knowing or knowing how that happened. But I don't know. I mean, you guys can see Bonehead on here, right? If so, I'm not sure. I don't know about the gray box. I don't know. Renee says, in a related incident, the landlord that got me this SRO 6 years ago is missing. Bottle stock management is sad. Oh, the landlord that got you is missing? Oh, that's not good. Well, I hope they find him. Hope they find him okay. Bonin says, oh, there's my buddy Tom sharing the love tonight. Hi, Tom, LOL. Renee says, sign posted all over Chinatown and North Beach near Ballstock work building, but no site. Oh, wow. Renee says, I wonder if you just left the job, or if he just left the job, or if he was murdered. Oh, man. Well, I hope he just left the job. You never know, though, these days. It's crazy. It really is. What a weird time that we are living through and experiencing. Very strange. But it says Prophecy. Oh, I love that movie. I remember watching it and watching the Steelers win the Super Bowl game, too. Tom says, yeah, I remember them days. Steelers win the Super Bowl. I remember, I was just talking to Ava about this a couple weeks ago. We were talking about when I was a kid. We were talking about the I was recalling, I was remembering the World Series between the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers, and that got me thinking about the year that the Steelers and the Pirates, Pittsburgh won both the Super Bowl and the World Series, and just took me back to my childhood, back to the days of, you know, just I don't know, very nostalgic, very nostalgic. Um, But about this thing with the movies, with summer releases, I'll admit I didn't. I was working so much and trying to get my escape room ready, and I didn't meet my original expectation of being able to open it to the public last Friday night, because I ran into a few snags at the very end there, which caused me to say, hey, you know what? It's better to put it off another week rather than to open it, you know, without getting everything resolved. I got to have a warm, fuzzy feeling about it before it opens to the public. Um, so I didn't, but I'm curious if anybody else did, and if so, let's hear your movies that you've selected. But it says, hey Brian, I'm about as bright as a burned out light bulb. God only knows what I've screwed up this time. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there. But it's not preventing you from being seen, though, right? I mean, everybody can see Bonehead. That's on YouTube. Let me clarify that. If you're on Facebook watching this, you can't see the YouTube viewers' comments, and vice versa. But if you're on YouTube, I think everybody can see you. Bonus says, I donated my body to science, but they said my head wasn't good for nothing, so here I am. Well, it's good for this show. It's good for keeping us company, by golly. So we appreciate you being here. Stephanie says, I'm thinking about watching this summer Any Monster. Think about watching this summer Any Monster. Any monster? Just any monster movie, any horror movies. I used to back in the days when you went to the video store, rented your Blockbuster Video or whatever your local place was. I used to, I don't know, for some reason, when we got into the summer months, that's when I got the most excited about horror movies. And I would just load up back then, and like I'd grab a couple of the Friday the 13th ones, and a couple of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I'd take them home, just have a big horror movie, horror fest. I don't know. There was just something about summer and horror movies. I don't know why. They don't really naturally go together. I mean, I don't think. But you think more toward in the fall, it's a little Halloweenish. But no, I was always looked forward to the summer. And I don't know why. That was into my adult years. I mean, that's nothing. When I was a kid, we didn't even have VCRs when I was a kid. So, but yeah, I don't know why that was. That's what I thought about when you said, about the summer horror movie summer releases. Got me thinking about that. Bonus says 1979, Brian. Those were the days. Yes. I didn't remember the year offhand. I could say that, but I do remember that era of time, and I always look at it with good memories. Stephanie says, I'm thinking any old monster movies this summer to watch. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, like I said, I just always had a I don't know, something about the the early onset of summer and renting a bunch of horror movies. I don't know why. But always was that way with me. Bonus says, Miss Stephanie Press, how about the big bug movies from the 50s? How's your John Wayne movies watching coming, if you don't mind me asking? Stephanie says, I've seen El Dorado. El Dorado! Wow, okay. I remember mentioning El Dorado because that's like my favorite John Wayne movie. James Caan, Robert Mitchum. Yeah, I just really like that movie. Did you enjoy it? It's not, westerns aren't for everybody, but that happened to be one of my favorites. Bonin says, or the Universal Monsters Collection DVD set. Yeah, those. Yeah, you can never go wrong watching Universal Monsters at any time of the year. By golly. Um, let's see. Oh, I wanted to mention Chiller Night Theater is still playing every Saturday night on Stream TV. You can go to Stream TV at streammedia.tv. You can see that right here. And also, I'll mention, is that logo? The New York logo there of WONTV. Make that a little bigger here. Put that down here. Get down here. All right, so that, now, again, if you've been watching this for a while, you know that on Stream TV, Chiller Night Theater begins every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Stream TV. And they play 4 Chiller movies back to back, just like we've been doing for a long time. Stream TV has continued doing that, so I want to thank them for that. And also, Chiller Night Theater is now airing on New York 48, WWON. And that was, I clicked on the link. I wonder if I might even be able to put the link here in this feed here of comments. But if you go there, the show plays. You can see there Saturdays at 11:58 p.m. Eastern Time. So, let's see if I can copy and paste that link right now. It shouldn't be that far. Aha! Here we go. I think I can do it. All right, here we go. Dashboard. Nope. Here we go. All right, right there. I just put the link for One Network New York. So if you get a chance, check out the site and hopefully watch Chiller Night Theater on New York 48, WWON. So I want to thank them for airing Chiller Night Theater as well as Stream TV. Bonin says, Miss Stephanie, it's summer, so if you don't mind me suggesting, try Without Reservations or The Quiet Man and Donovan's Reeve and McClintock. Summer comedies from the Duke. Yes. Renee says, thank you for the awesome live show, Brian. My pleasure, and thank you guys for all of you for, well, thank you for the compliment, the awesome live show, and thanks for joining us. Because this is the part that makes it, in my opinion, interesting and fun. And it says, Brian, how in the wide world of sports did you get on a New York channel? Talk about expanding, LOL. I don't know, but I've actually been, like, my show is played. I'll be honest, right now I'm not sure where it's playing, because they're supposed to notify me, and some places have, like, years ago. It's been a long time, but I've had people say, I've watched your show in my local TV station, and I'm not aware of it playing there. I know the show's been playing in some station in Fresno, California. I know it's been playing and I think it was Massachusetts, not too far from Salem. I don't remember off the top of my head the stations, but I was approached by the individual who I guess owns that station. So asking me if I'd be interested in doing that, and I said, heck yeah. So um, that's how that happened. I just thought that was pretty cool. Um, so very neat. Jack Links, Renee says. Brink of insanity, Bonet says. Thanks, Bones. Stephanie says. Tom says, right now, WWON is playing the original Flight of the Phoenix with Jimmy Stewart. Ah, that's cool. Very cool. Bonet says, gotcha, Brian. There's times I don't know where I'm at either. And that's all right. As long as we're here on Tuesday nights, or find our way here, hopefully at 8 o'clock. So, well, let's give this a try.
Chiller Night Escape Experience presents Zombie Outbreak Escape Room. You and your team of scientists are sent to inspect a top-secret laboratory in a hidden military bunker. Sinister experiments have resulted in reanimating the dead. The facility is now swarming with the living dead, and you have 1 hour to escape or be overrun by zombies. Can you survive a zombie outbreak? Book your escape room appointment to find out. Book online at chillernight.com or call 814-209-8214. Gift certificates available at the store counter.
So there you have it. There you have it. That is the Chiller Night Escape Experience. I store at the Cranberry Mall. You can book Zombie Outbreak Escape Room at by either calling 814-209-8214, or you can book right online at chillernight.com, and you can actually, this is open the booking now, the witching hour, same number, same website. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? I made it so handy for everyone. But yeah, give that a try. I think you'll like it. And then Jack Shadow's House of Terror coming up in October. Ho ho ho! Lots going on. Keeps me busy. Keeps me off the streets. But there you have it. That's what's happening in my neck of the woods. Paul Lasercorn Renee says, yeah, I was thinking about that there, brother. And Patty, we'll see if Patty usually pops in toward the kind of toward the last half of the show, if she's able to. But it says, I saw Flight of the Bumblebee. It was really gripping and kind of thrilling watching the bug go from flower to flower. Bowden says, Lasercorn, you out there, buddy? Yeah. Oh, and Justin, I know Justin was, I've been seeing him posting these pictures, of him in California, and I don't say, he's posting it publicly, so I don't have a problem, saying that. I know he wouldn't because he's posting it, but got some neat pictures. He's in California. I'm not sure if it's a work thing or just on vacation, but it looks like he's, getting to see quite a bit, and got a lot of good pictures. So it's hoping he has a good rest of the trip, and maybe we'll see him next week. John Wayne says, now let's talk about movies. What were the most unbelievable death scenes in horror movies? That's a good one. Have we, and still there's that one that's looming over us, the other one about the summer releases, which, I like I said, I didn't look into it. Oh, I'm bad, but if anybody else did, or if you want to Google it now, I don't care. But there's that. Okay, and most unbelievable death scene in horror movies. All right, that's an interesting topic to throw out there. Most unbelievable death scene in a horror movie. It's got the old wheels turning here. Stephanie says, this week is my movie night, and my mom and I watch Attack of the Giant Leeches. All right. Nice. Nice. Bonet says, oh, that's a flick, Miss Stephanie. Just wait for the exciting ending, LOL. Yeah. Who was the actress? Yvonne Vickers, I think, was the actress in that Attack of the Giant Leeches. And she, unfortunately, and I think she could have been a very, a bigger name than she was. I don't know how well she did actress wise because I'm just seeing this and trying to remember. But I think it was Yvonne Vickers, if I'm remembering this right. And she, sadly died alone, and was I think found some time after her passing away. But that's sad. You would think that maybe she would have had enjoyed some stardom, and then Hollywood and Tinseltown, and maybe not has been so lonely there at the end, but you never know. So, but on the topic of a better ending, watch the Attack of the Giant Leeches. I think you'll enjoy it. I know Stephanie watched it, so you say you watching it. Okay, you're watching it right now. I was going to ask you, did you enjoy it? But still in the process. All right. Bonus says, oh, that's a flick, Miss Stephanie. I read that. Bonus says, Killdozer got electrocuted at the end of Killdozer. I cried. A Killdozer gets electrocuted. All right, I suppose. That is a good one. What is the most unbelievable death scene in horror movies? Huh. Now you got me thinking. I don't want to sit here and delay too long, but you guys throw them out here. Bonus says, I cried at the end of Godzilla in 1954, 56, and 1995 until I remembered Godzilla is immortal and can't be killed. Steph says, dang, I forgot put in this movie nights on Friday. Movie nights on Friday? Oh. Not Tuesday? Tuesday seems to be an off night for things, and I really, I know when we originally did all this on Saturday nights. Well, when I started the store, Saturday nights was just not going to happen anymore. It just wasn't going to happen. So, and maybe at some point I'll figure out a way to make that happen again. And then we switched, rather than doing away with the show, we just moved it to Tuesday because at that time I was still doing Chiller Chat live on Tuesday night. So I thought, okay, well, I at least have somewhat of a live viewership on Tuesday night. So I think Tuesday would be the best night to replace Saturday night. Oddly enough, But I didn't want to do Monday night because I knew Brad watched, a big wrestling fan. So I wouldn't dare put the show up on Monday night. But I don't know. I don't know if Tuesday night, that's a good movie night or not. But Saturday, that's a given. Renee says, Son of Godzilla was so funny. Yeah. That looks funny, too. You can just see that. Bonin says, geez, I did a lot of crying. Something wrong with me. I bet nobody thinks that, LOL. Well, yeah, if you're looking at sad endings, I think King Kong, the original King Kong, was kind of sad. I remember as a kid watching that. And he, not just falling, but bouncing, his way down the Empire State Building. That was sad. John Wayne says, Killdozer was a great movie. I had the opportunity to buy one of these bulldozers a few years ago, but unfortunately I didn't have the space. Oh, yeah? That'd be pretty cool. Okay. Most unbelievable death. And I take it that that's, yeah, just a death scene. It doesn't have to be the monster. I take it that that was the intent of the question because it's just this unbelievable death scene in a horror movie. Man, that's wow. I'm just like, that's a tough one. I don't know. I can't. It's so hard to think of one right off the bat. Stephanie says, unless none of you remember Scream, one character pushed on a TV on the killer is the most unbelievable death scenes, more or less. You know, I gotta say, I saw the original Scream, like when it became available to watch at Blockbuster when I lived in Pittsburgh. You know, one of the outskirts. But anyways, yeah, I remember I watched that like one time. So I'll be honest, I don't really remember too much of that. I know a lot of people enjoy the Scream franchise. I have nothing against it, but it just wasn't one that I really, you know, I don't know why. I never really gravitated towards Scream, but I know Nate Reagan, who's been a guest on here before. I know he's a very very big Scream fan, and he has like, I mean, he's an avid fan. Right down, he was contacted by people doing what, Scream 4, I think it was, and Nate, if you just happen to watch this, and you know, you correct me if I'm wrong, or I don't know which one it was, for something like that, where he was actually contacted, and he was actually used as a consultant because he had some of the props from the movies. And I believe that he had one of the costumes, the original ghost face costume or something, and they were trying to, like, oh, hey, you know, we're actually looking to recreate that. I think. I hope I'm telling it right. But I'll tell you who does tell it right, and that's Nate Reagan. So if you're interested, watch Chiller Chat. It's right on this YouTube channel on Chiller Night. So check it out. Look it up if you're interested in watching that. He actually brings some of the movie props onto, and some other collectible items onto the set. So, and we talk about those. So that's pretty cool. Bonin says, wow, there's actually someone else who watched Killdozer on here. Thanks, SBC. Let's see. Bonus says, well, I like Michael Myers, and his death scenes are kind of unbelievable. Yeah. I like Michael Myers. I don't know. I take it, you know, when he got blown away he got shot like 30 times or 50 times or some outrageous time. What was at the end of part 4, I think? Or maybe was it part 4 or part 5? I don't know. I don't remember. But, you know, then he shows up again. You think at that point he's done. So obviously there's some kind of supernatural, you know, aspect to this whole thing of him being brought back, or given some kind of regenerative, well, supernatural. I mean, is he coming back to life? Is he never really completely dying to begin with? I don't know. Is he a mutant? What do you guys think? Bonus says, Miss Renee, do you remember watching Godzilla dance? Or how about that unbelievable drop kick he did? Yeah, when he's sliding on his tail. Or when he used his atomic breath to fly. that Godzilla, he's a resourceful chap, isn't he? Bonehead says, uh-oh, Bonehead is going on about Godzilla again. Yes. John says, who remembers the car? The car? I do not know. I don't remember that, John, to be honest with you. Renee says, Chiller Chat, Bryan Hogue wore a suit and had a distinguishing mustache goatee. I did for a time. I did. At various times. I've had I've had the beard and the mustache, or sometimes I've just had the goatee. Yeah, not often. I normally do keep the shaven look, but I had a few times where I wasn't. Yeah, that whole thing with the like at least a jacket, maybe even a t-shirt underneath or something like that. But I kind of wanted a certain look to Chiller Chat, and I wanted to kind of go with you. If you remember the background, it had a lot of like, there was yellows and oranges and blues to the background of the set. I actually had a set, and then later I was using the virtual background when during COVID, and that's when we started doing a lot of this stuff live. Was during the earlier days of COVID. So yeah, that was neat. I was just kind of going for a certain look, I guess, because this was the very casual. You can't get much more casual than the t-shirt look. So, you know, Chiller Night Theater, the actual show there with Jack Shadow, that was the most work I had to put into a production of a show, to, you know, completing an episode from A to Z. Very time consuming. And then Chiller Chat, not so much. If I had a guest on interviewing, of course I did my homework on that. And then, so, you know, and then this right here, this is just us chiller chatting, coming up with topics. And it was always intended to just kind of be a fun, just very kind of off the cuff thing, because it was originally intended, this show here, originally, it was originally the Chiller Night live pre-show. And I was just getting on here to make a noise about, hey, 9 o'clock on Stream TV. This is what's happening. This is coming up. So just trying to get the word out. And then now it's Chiller Night Live. So, because I'm not doing it on Saturday nights right now. So, but that's how that's the evolution of Chiller Night Live. Bonus says, you just know Michael Myers is going to come back somehow, somewhere, sometime in the shape will be back. Oh yeah, he will be back, and I think even more a more powerful component to all this than the supernatural is, can we make money off of it? That right there, in and of itself, will determine whether Michael Myers will be back. And if so, they will find a way. This guy could have been cremated. I mean, look at what they did with Jason. Holy cow, Jason Goes to Hell. I mean, his body got blown up, incinerated, and he wasn't out of the game yet. Somehow his spirit, went into others, and then just weird. Got a little, a little crazy there. They went a long way from part 2, where he's just a big guy running around with a pillowcase with one eye hole, to Jason Goes to Hell. Crazy, crazy. John Wayne says, technically speaking, there were no death scenes of Michael Myers. He always survived. Yeah, I mean, that's what. But there's the question, though: did he survive, or did he resurrect? I don't know. I don't have the. Well, I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? Did he survive? I mean, how supernatural is this? Patty, hey Patty, thanks for joining us. Pat Sylvan 1 says Stephen King's The Car. Well, Bonehead says, I remember The Car with James Brolin from 1977, I think. Is that it? John Wayne says, The Car was also a great movie. Bonehead says, Stephen King has Christine, but The Car came first. Actually, Killdozer came first in 1974. That's interesting. I gotta say, I'm not familiar with The Car. So that's cool. Maybe that's kind of more of an obscure movie. Patty says, never saw Christine, but I did see The Car on HBO in 1979. Ah! There, Patty saw The Car, but didn't see Christine. That's interesting. Normally, I think a lot of horror movie fans would go the other way with that, but that's cool. Bonehead says, Jason has been everywhere. Yeah, especially when it got blown up. Patty says, one of my favorite lines in a horror movie is Freddy Krueger to Jason. Why don't you die? Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. I wonder if the original intent, you know, with Michael Myers and with Jason Voorhees was, did they originally set out to make these guys supernatural? We know Freddy Krueger started out with a supernatural background, you know, killed by the community, the parents in the community, and came back and killed them in their dream, their descendants in their dream and stuff like that. But so that was always intended to be. I wonder though, you know, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, were they intended to be at some point a supernatural monster? You know, what was the original idea with that, I wonder? You know, this guy comes up, you know, they left part 2 with a very open end, you know, with the what a great ending too. Part 2 with the girls out there floating on the lake, Crystal Lake there, and the boat, and the canoe, I don't know, a small little boat, and Jason comes up out, grabs her, and pulls her under the water. So then she's asking about the boy as they're putting her in the ambulance. Then he's still out there, she says. So I thought that was an interesting way to keep it going. I don't know. Probably not. They just probably, again, that's what brings them back right there. The money. John Wayne says, I imagine an adult movie where the car from The Car falls in love with Christine. But that's probably just my allergy confusing my brain. Autoeroticism. Bonehead says, I am glad that there's somebody else out there that watches the kind of movies that I do. Bonehead says, hey, SPC, now that'd be a movie. You need to make that happen. Bonehead says, and they could have Lightning McQueen as their love child. Perfect for the whole family. Or Herbie. Herbie the Love Bug. Huh? How did we get Herbie? Well, let's show you. I have to leave part of it out. Keep it clean. Bonehead says, oh boy, I need to be medicated, I think. That's weird. I never saw The Car. I think I've seen Christine, but I've not seen The Car. I can say that with a lot of certainty, not 100%, but Al, hey, hi everyone. Sorry I'm late. Hey Al, thanks for joining us. We've been talking about, we've kind of had a few scattering topics, but they're all pretty interesting. One was horror movie summer releases. That was actually carried over from last week. We didn't really delve too much into that. I'm gonna say my, and I said this last week when it was brought up, would be Jaws, and I know that might not be traditionally regarded as a horror movie, but I can think of not many things more horrifying than than the movie of Jaws. But I don't know how that could not be considered a horror movie, but Cujo could. You know, um, one's a big, demented dog, you know, rabid dog, and the other is a giant great white shark. So, I don't know. It's all subjective, folks. You know, I don't know that there's the definitive checklist that makes something a horror movie. That's why Chiller to me is like Chiller. I think of the horror. I do think horror. We were talking about Psycho. We mentioned Psycho last week, and it was brought up. Very good point. I think what was it, Stephanie, somebody, or D, maybe D. I don't know if D's in here tonight, but somebody had brought up that it was more of a suspense thriller. I think, if I'm remembering that right, not technically a horror movie. May well be. I don't know. I consider it a horror movie, but I can see the other. I can see it under the other category as well. So, Chillers, you know, the science fiction. You've got, you know, all the B UFO B movies of the 50s and 60s of the invading UFOs and the killer Martians and all that. You know, is that horror? No, not necessarily, but I still throw that safely under the Chiller mantle. You know, the science fiction and horror. You know, just good stuff. Bonin says, "Yeah, Brian, that's it. We got a blockbuster." John Wayne says, "That reminds." Yeah, we got it. That's it. That's the one it's gonna do it. John Wayne says, "That reminds me, in the 80s or early 90s, there was a Herbie movie where there was an evil Volkswagen Beetle." Oh, really? I did not see that one. Huh. Interesting idea. Bonin says, "The car and Christine have had their kitty car." Oh, their kitty car. Dun, dun. Where's Tom Paisley at? He'd be surprised we're not seeing more of these from him. The kitty car Herbie. It would work. Bonin says, "Yes. Yes." Stephanie says, "You mean Jaws and Cujo?" Yes. Yes. I made reference to them just a little bit ago, as far as, like, you know, well, that originally came from the idea of the summer releases, you know, the horror movie summer releases. So, Brenna says, "Jaws ate Cujo and then got sick and spit out his dentures and said he wouldn't need teeth no more after eating that mangy mutt." Now there's a movie. Actually, that movie wouldn't last too long, would it? John says, "And at the end of the movie, with the car and Christine movie, the door of the car opens and Manos gets out. LOL. Oh, you found a way to get Manos involved. Paul is going to enjoy that." Stephanie says, "Hey, Tom, where you at?" Yeah, Tom, you still with us? Bonus says, "They could have twins, Herbie and Evil Herbie." Yes, a family drama in the sequel. You know, yeah, they could have a soap opera, like a car soap opera, a car wash or something. I don't know. They could, yeah, but it could be like a soap. Yeah, lots of drama. So, all right. Well, hey, it is 8:54. I want to mention once again, go to the Cranberry Mall in Venango County. Do you know? I gotta tell you, I kept saying that the other Cranberry Mall was in Allegheny County, but it's not. It's at the very bottom of Butler County. So these are two counties touching each other: Venango County and Butler County. Butler County is where I reside, but the store, my store here, is at Venango County's Cranberry Mall. So, can you believe that? In two counties right next to each other, they have the same name of them all. No wonder people are getting so messed up. But remember, folks, the Witching Hour is actually opening up this weekend to the public. I'm having test groups go through, but it will be available for the public to book this coming week, so this weekend. But it says, I think I annoyed Tom Paisley to death or bored him to tears. Oh, I'm sure that's not the case. Patty says, wasn't Herbie and its sequels just a precursor to Terminator movies? Yeah, that might be. Yeah, the AIs. Yes. Is that what Herbie was? What was Herbie? Maybe it was a horror movie. It was just a friendly horror movie. Like Casper the Friendly Ghost. Nobody really wants to mention the fact that you got a dead kid floating around. But Herbie, is he maybe he's possessed. Or is it AI? Huh. I will ask you this. Now, we got a couple minutes left. Does anybody, now from the movies, from the Love Bug movies of Herbie's, did they ever explain what Herbie was? How he, became like self-aware and all this stuff as a vehicle? Because I really don't. I remember seeing the movies as a little kid at the theater. Like at the drive-in. We've been talking about the drive-in. That's come up recently. But I don't remember what the heck actually made him come to life. Anybody know? Renee says, Stephanie says, by the way, what movies are you watching this summer, Bones? John and Renee. Renee says, fight the good fight. Think good thoughts. Keep having fun. May the change you want to see in the UFO world community. Find the magic of each day. Laugh a little more often. Volunteer at your local SFSPCA. That's good, very good advice. Look, first part of that advice I followed pretty well there, Renee, and I'm not sure. I'll be honest what the last part was, but it sounds good. And it seems to me, in reading that, it seems like you've mentioned that before, and you have told me what it was, but I forget. But it says, how'd you come to that conclusion, Patty? How'd you get there with that rationale? LOL. I don't know, but I like it. I like that she just very aggressively, bridged that gap. Herbie, Terminator. Stay safe, all. Patty says, you too. I like where your head's at here. John says, I'm still disappointed that neither Christine nor the car had a guest appearance in Cars. Yeah, they could have had something in the background to where they maybe not for copyright they can't come right out and say it, but But it says, I really think you got an idea for a new movie franchise here. Geez, I need help. Patty says, Buddy Hackett's character basically called it a spontaneous AI with a soul in the first movie. Ah, really? Okay. That's weird. So they actually do. I mean, I guess that they would in the first movie. They would have to. They would have to, cover it somehow. Give us some explanation. All right. Let's see. Bonus says, Miss Stephanie Press, I'm trying to watch some of the classics like Of Mice and Men and The Grapes of Wrath. Renee says SPCA is where you adopt dogs and cats from. There you go. All right, then you have mentioned that. All right. Well, that's very good advice then. Yes. John Wayne says in the 80s there was a Love Bug ripoff movie from Germany called Doo Doo with a yellow Volkswagen Beetle. Bonin says, thank yous all for a very enjoyable evening. Well, thank you. And I didn't know that about the ripoff movie, but you're always going to have those. You're always going to have them. Cars eat Paris, Patty said. Stephanie says, take care of you all. Yes, you too. All right, it is 9 o'clock, so thank you everybody for a very fun hour of Chiller Night Live. Have a good night. Have a good chiller night. And we'll see you next week.